say on First Take, but as your beloved New York Knicks, your orange and blue skies go down 3-1 in the sun of South Beach, what is your reaction to New York's performance last night?
I'm kind of scared, Greeny.
Uh-oh. Why is that?
Kind of scared of what I want to see on national television. I'm so disgusted with Julius Randle. I'm so disgusted with R.J. Barrett. Little less than Julius Randle. I'm not disgusted with anybody more than I'm disgusted with Julius Randle. I'm on the verge of asking for him to be traded. I'm just disgusted. I think that this series is over. I think that the New York Knicks, orange and blue skies, it was a nice run. I'm very proud of Jalen Brunson and the kind of impact that he's had on the New York Knicks. As much as I respect and adore Tom Thibodeau and the coach that he is, I'm looking at the personnel that he didn't use and the people that he trusted and he relied upon and how they haven't come through for him. It would have been nice to see him throw a twist in the mix, even throwing some of the bodies we haven't seen throughout the regular season into it, a la Evan Fournier or Derrick Rose, even give somebody some help, because with what Julius Randle has been doing, I mean, you might as well try anything. I'm on the verge of coming on national television and asking for the man to be traded. I mean, just the regular season is one thing, but the postseason, don't get me started with what he does in the postseason. I'll get into all of that on First Take, but my heart's hurting, I'll admit it. I'm emotional when it comes to the New York Knicks, not objective when it comes to them at all. I will openly concede that to the public at large, but I am utterly disgusted. I vomited last night watching them. I have to admit that. I literally vomited. I threw up because they were that damn awful.
Stephen A. Smith and everyone else here in New York, we take you to what Jimmy Butler and the Heat did last night to Jalen Brunson and the Knicks. A lot of Bam Adebayo last night, legs, getting it done inside.
Played great, very aggressive. There have been times in this series he wasn't really aggressive offensively. That was not the case last night.
He had 23 and 13. And then look at that defense, Alan Hahn, by Jimmy Butler.
Shades of Roy Hibbert on Carmelo Anthony in the playoffs 10 years ago. The same type of turning point in that game.
Butler playing both ends of the floor and then making nice passes here. Look at this pretty dish to Caleb Martin, who knocks down the three, and the Heat have a 10-point lead. We got a minute to go in the third. The Heat are up by 9, and legs more from Jimmy Butler.
Tremendous jab step. One of the best in the business. Faces up, gets to the opposite side of the rim. No help for the Knicks.
Windy, Jimmy Butler, 27 points, 10 assists. You could argue he's been the best player in the playoffs.
Jimmy Butler is an immovable force. Eric Spoelstra is an immovable force. You may beat them, but you ain't going to push them around. The Heat are pushing around the Knicks in this series.
Look at Butler getting it done on both ends of the floor. Another block there. Jalen Brunson did what he could for New York. He scored 32. They're within 8 there, but here comes the dagger, and it comes in the form, legs, of a vicious slam dunk.
Yeah, lane just opens up. Knicks get too overextended. Nobody on the back line, and snuck them. 27 for Butler, 23 for Adebayo, 3-1 for Miami, and the numbers all working against the Knicks here. The Heat 14-0 in their history with a 3-1 series lead. The Knicks 0-14 when trailing 3-1. Again, for those across the country who don't know, Alan Hahn, not only with us here at ESPN, but also works for MSG, so you cover the Knicks. You know that team as well as a person can know a team. The Knicks look cooked. That's a terrible pun to make, considering they're playing in the sun of South Beach, but they really do. They look done.
Yeah, and you know what makes you feel this way is not necessarily just what you're seeing, because the Heat are basically playing the Knicks game better than the Knicks were able to play it. They have just taken everything that they're good at, and they've done it better. Depth, bench, rebounding, effort plays, deflections, all of it. And then on top of it, shooting just ridiculous from three-point range, or it just felt like making threes that just were enough to keep you at an arm's length. Anytime you made a push, they were just demoralizing when they hit their threes in the third quarter. 7 offensive rebounds in the fourth quarter, demoralizing. But all that aside, when Julius Randle after the game says, I think they want it more, when Tom Thibodeau in Game 3 of a second-round playoff series on mic in the game on ABC is saying to his team in a timeout in the first half, we need to bring more intensity to the game, when you have to say those things to your team, you're beat.
Yeah. You know, a lot of conversation over the weekend that we had on Countdown with the guys, particularly from Jalen, was how hard it is to go down to Miami and play this time of year. And I know people will immediately associate that with the nightlife and all that. But according to Jalen, there's more than that. There's also just the reality of the temperature change, the heat, the geography, being down there for 3 days. It sort of saps a little bit of your energy and your strength. We talk about that primarily in football. I know this is an indoor sport, but I mean, the Knicks, whatever it is, Jimmy Butler is has just destroyed them, and the Knicks all year long were the team that played harder and wanted it more, and right now Miami looks like that team.
Yeah, particularly the offensive rebounding. That to me, that was the difference in the game, because what happens when you get that many second and third chance opportunities when a team is trying to come back, but you stall any momentum the Knicks could get. And every single time the Knicks got it to within, looked like a working number, looked like they had a chance to get a couple stops, and you're down 5, down 6, offensive rebound bucket. They answered every single one of those. And boy, what does it say about what the playoffs can do to old, battered bodies? Look at Kyle Lowry. Look at how well Kyle Lowry is playing and what the production he's giving them based on the regular season he had.
Let me get a quick take from Wendy here, and then I got to run to some other business. We'll have much more for this as we go.
The Knicks hadn't played well in this series. They sort of thought they had a chance. They actually played well last night. Randall, Brunson, Barrett played well. They still got beat.
Yeah, the Heat just look like the better team. Jimmy Butler clearly looks like the best.